Hello, welcome back to my channel, Weird Wisdom. Fairy tales are often mistaken for being simple stories for young children. What if I told you that these stories could be used as psychological maps for reaching enlightenment? Today, we're going to take a closer look into the symbolism of Sleeping Beauty, specifically the 1812 Brothers Grimm version titled Little Briar Rose. Fairy tales and their symbols have many different interpretations and meanings, but we're going to take Marie-Louise von Franz's advice and explore the story of Sleeping Beauty as though it's all taking place inside one mind. So each person, place, and thing will symbolize different aspects of one personality, and will carry deeper associations beyond their literal meaning. Here's the link to the Sleeping Beauty video that I created using this specific version of the story. I'm gonna also put the text in the description if you'd rather read it, so check that out if you haven't already. It's actually quite a bit different than the Disney version that you're probably most familiar with. And I'm going to use a lot of Jungian and alchemical terminology because it's some of the best vocabulary that we have for talking about symbols and their meanings. If you love fairy tales, consider subscribing to my channel, and also hit the thumbs up button to share your enthusiasm with the algorithm. Now, time to get weird. The story begins with a king and a queen, and their deep longing for a child, which mirrors the ego's inherent quest for completeness and the integration of contrasting aspects of the self. The prophecy is delivered by a crab that climbs out of the bathtub water, which, keep in mind that water is a symbol that is strongly associated with the unconscious. The crab acts as a harbinger of emerging insights, guiding the conscious mind toward a greater understanding and acceptance of its latent potentials and hidden wisdom. This scene in the story marks the initiation of the ego's journey towards self-realization and wholeness. So the king and the queen end up having a beautiful baby girl, and they're ecstatic. They're so proud that they throw a giant celebration. But there are only 12 golden plates, and there are 13 fairies, which means one fairy must be left out. The number 12 shows up all over the place in our world. There are 12 zodiac signs, 12 apostles, 12 tribes of Israel, 12 main gods in Greek mythology, and 12 months in a year. And the number 12 is often considered a holy number that represents completeness and cosmic order. The number 13, on the other hand, is notorious for being unlucky and is often associated with trickster gods in Greek mythology. So the fairies are handing out their gifts to the princess, and they encompass beautiful things like virtues, beauty, and all the skills that form a well-rounded personality. Up until the 13th fairy shows up and yells, "Because you did not invite me, I tell you that in her 15th year, your daughter will prick herself with a spindle and fall over dead." So sweet, so thoughtful. The exclusion of the 13th fairy from the royal celebration likely represents the conscious rejection of the shadow, the uncomfortable and undesirable aspects of the psyche. Her vengeful curse upon the princess embodies the unavoidable confrontation with these suppressed shadow elements. But instead of looking at the curse as an act of evil intent, let's instead view the curse as an essential catalyst to propel an individual toward their ultimate goal of self-awareness and growth. Change very often feels difficult and painful. That's why our mindsets about change can have a profound impact on how well we navigate it. The 12th fairy quickly saves the day, and she uses her gift to lessen the blow of the 13th fairy's curse by saying, "It shall not be her death. She will only fall into 100-year sleep." Her intervention to mitigate the curse illustrates the role of the transcendent function in Jungian psychology. This function serves as a bridge between the conscious mind and the vast unconscious. The 100-year sleep symbolizes a liminal state where the princess is neither alive in the ordinary sense nor gone. She is suspended between consciousness and unconsciousness. This prolonged sleep serves as a profound period of psychological metamorphosis, allowing space for deep inner work and integration. It metaphorically represents a deep dive into the unconscious, where the true transformation can occur. The king is furious, and he immediately orders that all of the spindles throughout the kingdom be destroyed. This act symbolizes the ego's efforts to control and suppress the deeper, more intimidating elements of the unconscious. The princess cannot suppress her curiosity, and she eventually stumbles upon an old woman sitting in a tower spinning thread with a forbidden spindle. The spindle here is symbolic of the shadow, the forbidden aspects of her psyche. The act of pricking her finger on the spindle serves as a critical juncture where her conscious ego directly meets the unconscious, initiating the process of individuation. Not only does the princess fall asleep, but the entire castle falls asleep with her. This highlights the stagnation or regression that occurs when essential aspects of the self remain unintegrated. The growth of the thorn hedge around the castle symbolizes the protective and isolating barriers that the psyche erects to shield itself during periods of intense transformation. But then the prince shows up. His appearance and ability to penetrate the thorn hedge can embody both the animus of a woman as well as the ego of a man. It represents the heroic journey of courageously delving into the unconscious and being ready to integrate the unknown contents hiding there. The prince's ability to turn the thorns into flowers represents the internal psychological ability to convert hostile forces within the psyche into supportive allies. It also highlights the transformative power of embracing the hidden, neglected parts of ourselves. Think of being terrified of a monster that's hiding under your bed, and you finally get the courage to look under your bed and confront it, only to find out, surprise, surprise, it's not a monster at all, but a magical best friend that can grant you wishes. If only all shadow integration went that seamlessly. I want more magical best friends that can grant me wishes. Facing the things that we think are scary with love and curiosity transform them into beautiful healing gifts. So once the prince makes it through the thorny hedge and gets into the castle, he goes up into the tower and he kisses Briar Rose on the lips. This act of love can symbolize both the feminine integration of her unconscious masculine side, and it can also represent the masculine ego's integration of the feminine unconscious side. The kiss magically revives the princess, as well as all the other characters within the castle, symbolizing a profound personal awakening that restores balance and harmony between the deeper layers of the psyche. Briar Rose and the prince are then married, and they live happily ever after until they die. The marriage between the prince and the princess represents the connuntio, or the mystical, alchemical union of opposites within the psyche. This union signifies the completion of the individuation process and symbolizes the integration of the conscious and the unconscious. So the happily ever after refers to a more complete understanding of oneself and of one's place in the world, as well as the newfound ability to live a happy, balanced, enlightened life. The fairy tale Sleeping Beauty holds enduring relevance for our society, as it articulates a profound narrative about the journey of awakening that is both personal and universal. This story acts as a metaphorical map, guiding us through the labyrinth of the unconscious, urging us to confront and reconcile the shadowy aspects of ourselves. It teaches that within the deep sleep of our unexamined lives lie the seeds of our potential awakening. As we strive for balance between various aspects of our identity in an increasingly complex world, we can use Sleeping Beauty's story to look for guidance. Her story reminds us that every encounter with our shadow, even though it might be scary and challenging, is rich in opportunity for growth and transformation. Sleeping Beauty will forever be a timeless mirror to our collective quest for enlightenment. Bye. Thank you. Thank you for watching.